Hey everybody, Timmy Flyers guy here. And guess what? The Lehigh Valley Phantoms schedule is officially here. And in this video I am going to do a schedule breakdown for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Unfortunately, I don't know who they're playing in the preseason. So, we're going to skip that. We're just going to get right into the schedule. And here we go, folks. I'm here to do the Lehigh Valley Phantoms 2024-2025 regular season schedule. And here we go, folks. Here we go. Let's get into it. Starting off, the first game of the season, the home opener, will be on Saturday, October 12th at 7 p.m. Phantoms will face off against the Hartford Wolfpack. Then the Phantoms will not play until October 18th when they face off again. Then their next game will be Friday, October 18th at 7 p.m. They will face off against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. That'll be part one of the home and home. Part two will be on Saturday, March 19th at 7 p.m. Both games will be at 7 p.m. And then the Phantoms have a game on October 25th as they travel to Hartford to take on the Hartford Wolfpack at 7 p.m. Then the Lehigh Valley Phantoms will face off on that game against Hartford on the 25th. Then on Saturday, October 26th, it'll be part one of back-to-back games against the Grand Rapids Griffins. This is the first time the Phantoms will be facing off against Grand Rapids since they were the Philadelphia Phantoms way back when. The first game against Grand Rapids will be on Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m. And Sunday, October 27th, they will face off against the Grand Rapids Griffins once again at 3:05. Both games will be at home. Then the Phantoms will head to Hershey on Wednesday, October 30th at 7 p.m. to face off against the Hershey Bears. Now we get into the month of November. On Saturday, November 2nd, they will face off against the Springfield Thunderbirds in an away game against Springfield. And then they will head to Wilkes-Barre on Wednesday, November 6th at 7 p.m. Then they'll come home to face the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins on Friday, November 8th at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, they'll face off against the Utica Comets at 7 p.m. on Saturday, November 9th. Then the Phantoms will be in again for another home game as they face off against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins on Wednesday, November 13th. And then on Saturday, they head to Springfield to take on the Springfield Thunderbirds on Friday, November 16th and November 15th. And then they'll come home on Saturday, November 16th, to face off against the Hershey Bears. Then on Friday, Phantoms have two games, Friday and Saturday. On Friday, Friday and Saturday, both back-to-back games against the Providence Bruins. They will travel to Providence for those two games. The first game will be Friday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. And 7:05, and Saturday, November 23rd at 7:05 p.m. as well. Then they will travel to Hartford. They will face off against the Hartford Wolfpack on Wednesday, November 27th. Then they got two home games coming up, Friday and Saturday. On Friday, November 29th, they will face off. They will face off against the Hershey Bears, and then on Saturday, November 30th, they will close out the month of November with a game against the Laval Rocket. Both games will be at 7:05 p.m. Then we get into December. On Wednesday, October 4th, on Wednesday, December 4th, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms will face off against the Rockford Ice Hogs at 7 p.m. It'll be the first time the Phantoms play the Rockford Ice Hogs. That'll be at 7:05 p.m. And then on Saturday, December 7th, they will face off against the Hershey Bears. This is part one of a home and home series. On Saturday, they will play Hershey at home. And then on Sunday, December 8th, my birthday, they will face off against the Hershey Bears. They'll face off against the Hershey Bears at 5 p.m. on Sunday, December 8th. Then they will face off against the Toronto Marlies on Sunday, December 10th at 6 p.m. Then on Saturday and on Thursday, December 12th, they will face off against the Cleveland Monsters. The game against Toronto is at 6 p.m. That game against Cleveland is at 7 p.m. And then they will play the Cleveland Monsters on December 14th, Saturday, December 14th at 7 p.m. Both those games will be at 7 p.m. and both those games against Cleveland will be on the road. Then the Phantoms will face off home to face for 2-game homestand. On Wednesday, December 18th, they will face off against the Providence Bruins. And then on Friday, December 20th, they will face off against the Toronto Marlies. The game against Providence is at 7:05, and the game against the Marlies is also at 7:05. Then on Saturday, they will travel to Wilkes-Barre to face off against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins at 6:05. And then they will be in Wilkes-Barre once again on Friday, December 27th at 7 p.m. And then they got 2 games coming up against the Charlotte Checkers. One on Saturday, November 28th at 7:05 p.m. And then one on December 31st, New Year's Eve, against the Charlotte Checkers at 7 p.m. as well. Then we get into the month of January. To open up the new year, the Phantoms will be on the road for 3 games. On Friday, January 3rd, they will face off against the Utica Comets at 7 p.m. And then they will face off against the Syracuse Crunch on Saturday, January 4th at 7 p.m. Then they will face off against the Hershey Bears on Tuesday, January 7th. And then they will come home for a home-and-home series with the Hartford Wolfpack. The first game will be Friday, January 10th at 7 p.m. And then they'll travel to Hershey to face off against the Hershey Bears on Saturday, January 11th at 7 p.m. And then on Sunday, January 12th, they will face off against the Bridgeport Islanders on Sunday, January 12th at 5 p.m. Then they will come home to face off against the Belleville Senators on Wednesday, January 19th at 7 p.m. And on Friday, we got a home-and-home series between the Rochester Americans. On Friday, January 17th, they will face off against the Rochester Americans. That game will be at 7:05 p.m. And then they will come home to face off against the Rochester Americans on Saturday, January 18th at 7:05 p.m. Then they'll have 2 home games, Friday and Saturday. On Friday, January 24th, they'll face off against the Springfield Thunderbirds. And then on Saturday, January 25th, they'll face off against the Bridgeport Islanders. Phantoms will close out January with 2 road games on Sunday, January 26th against the Wolfsburg Strand Penguins at 3:05, and then on Wednesday, January 29th at 7 p.m. Then they'll go into an all-star break for the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of February, and also the 5th of February. And they will have their first game in February on Friday, February 7th. They will face off against the Cleveland Monsters. That game will be at 7:05 p.m. And then they will face off against the Hartford Wolfpack on Saturday, February 8th at 7:05 p.m. Both games are home games. And then they will go to Wilkes-Barre on Friday, February 14th at 7:05 p.m. when they face off against the Wolfsburg Strand Penguins. Then on Saturday, February 15th, they'll face off against the Syracuse Crunch at 7:05 p.m. And then they will face off against the Wolfsburg Strand Penguins in a 3:05 home game on Sunday, February 16th. Then they will they'll have 2 games. They will have 4 road games coming up. First road game will be on Wednesday, January 19th at 8 p.m. Then they will face off against the Grand Rapids Griffins on Friday, February 21st at 8 p.m. as well. And then they will face off against the Rockford Ice Hogs on Saturday, February 22nd. That game will be at 8 p.m. as well. And then the Lehigh Valley Phantoms will face off against the Milwaukee Admirals on Tuesday, February 25th at 8 p.m. And then they will close out the month of February as they come home to face off against the Bridgeport Islanders at 7:05 p.m. on Friday, February 28th. And then we get into the month of March, the 11th of March. They will be home as they face off against the Bridgeport Islanders at 7:05 p.m. on Saturday, March 1st. And then they will travel to Hershey. They'll have 2 road games coming up. The first road game will be against the Hershey Bears on Sunday, March 3rd at 5 p.m. And then they will face off against the Charlotte Checkers on Saturday, March 8th at 4 p.m. And then they will play Charlotte again on Sunday, March 9th at 1 p.m. It's a rare occurrence. Never seen many 1 p.m. games for the Phantoms. And then they will come home for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they will come home for 5 home games. On Friday, March 14th, they will face off against the Wolfsburg Strand Penguins at 7 p.m. 7:05 p.m. And then on Sunday, March 16th, the game was on the 14th. March 16th, they will face off against the Wolfsburg Strand Penguins once again at 3:05 p.m. That is on Sunday, March 16th. Then on Wednesday, March 19th, they will face off against the Milwaukee Admirals at 7:05 p.m. And then they will have 2 more home games after that. On Friday, March 21st, against the Syracuse Crunch. That's a 7:05 start, and then they will face off against the Providence Bruins on Saturday, March 22nd at 7:05 p.m. Then they have two road games closing out March. The first road game will be on Friday, March 28th at 7 p.m. And then they will face off against the Laval Rocket on Saturday, March 29th at 7 p.m. Now we get into April. Starting off the month of April, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms will have a rare 10:30 p.m. game against the Bridgeport Islanders in Bridgeport at 10:30 a.m. And on Friday, and they got two home games coming up on Friday, April 4th, against the Hershey Bears at 7 p.m. That first game will be on April 3rd. And then we get into Saturday. They will face off against Springfield Thunderbirds on Saturday, April 5th at 7:05 p.m. And then on Friday, April 11th, they will face off against the Syracuse Crunch. And then on Saturday, April 12th, they got the Hershey Bears at home. That'll be a 7:05 start. And then to end April, on Friday, April 18th, they will face off against the Cleveland Monsters, and they will end the season. The Cleveland Monster game will be 7 p.m., and they will end the season on the road against the Hershey Bears on Saturday, March 19th at 7:05 p.m. Guys, I can't wait for the next Lehigh Valley Phantom season. Last season was fun to watch, and I hope this season is more of the same. Thank you for joining me here for this Lehigh Valley Phantoms 2024-2025 regular season schedule breakdown. Let's go, Phantoms!